recording here. So, and then we're live on Twitter Spaces. All right, hello everyone to another episode of Who's Who. Today we are joined by Far, co-founder and artist of Taproot Wizards, and he's also the founder of Find, a Web3 platform for interoperable assets for creators. But before we jump into Far's origin story, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Albert, CEO of Bitcoin Startup Lab, and welcome to the Who's Who and a founder's journey into Bitcoin interview series. The Bitcoin community has come together to celebrate innovative and significant achievements on Bitcoin so that we reinforce and grow the innovation culture on Bitcoin. Significant achievements on Bitcoin are things that were done for the first time ever. We're setting new records to push forward the innovation frontier of Bitcoin. And this show is brought to you by the Bitcoin Startup Lab. We are a top accelerator in the Bitcoin ecosystem. We help you turn your idea into investment-worthy startup on Bitcoin. And a big shout out to our media partner, CryptoSlate, a crypto-agnostic media platform that brings the latest happenings on Bitcoin to the rest of the crypto world. And a big thank you to our teams and all the guest speakers that have come together to make this show possible and accelerate the advent of the Bitcoin economy. So let's come back to Far. Far, welcome to the show. We're really happy to have you here. And again, thank you for being willing to share your origin story, because as we talked about, by sharing your origin story, we're going to inspire more founders and more creators to come to Bitcoin and build. And together we'll realize a sustainable Bitcoin economy together. So with that said, Far, before you co-founded Taproot Wizards, before you founded Find, even before you became an entrepreneur, right? Can we go back to maybe before university? What were the early signs that you knew that you wanted to be a founder and a creator? Like what was something? Did you have any side hustles, or did you like to build things when you're young? What was like this? How did you know you wanted to be a founder?
Hi Albert. Thank you for having me here. Yeah, so you're talking about pre-university, like high school.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, I always had like some side hustles. And it's pretty interesting related to technology. Like always like I guess like with the advantage of technology, right? Like I have a computer before many other people, and I have like a good printers, and I have like a CDs recorder. So I was like I was always like selling things here and there. It's interesting thinking about like back in the day.
When was this? How old?
Yeah, this is around 2000, even earlier, I guess. Like I got my computer when I was first computer. What when was this? Like when I was 12, maybe 11. Like like a legit computer. Like yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So and then when you're selling things, what were you selling at that age?
I will. People wanted to do like a. I remember like some companies they were trying to do, or people wanted to do like a backup copies of data they had. I remember my father. The thing is, like I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. So everyone in my family has got something going on. So, but I remember like there's some of them they were like trying to do backups of their systems, so they were doing like weekly doing backups of the entire accounting for the company, because they have previously they had some viruses and they deleted the formatted hard drive, so they were doing like these backups with the floppy disk, and then I came in with these CDs because I had like a CD recorder. I started to do things like that. So some other people wanted to do like a remix of music, like asking me to back up that for them. and so on, very testing. But also like I got like a printers, like a good printer. My father was very kind always with all this. He was saying like, I'll invest in technology for you. This is a good thing. It's like a magic. So I was doing like a selling photographs for etc., taking them, selling them, taking
It's-
advantage of being the only one that with this. I guess like I wasn't the only one having that, but the majority of people that had these products or these devices, they were companies or people like they couldn't do like they had this as a service. So I was doing this type of stuff. But also I was like a 12, 12-year old. That's
wow,
fun.
nice, nice. So this is your first side hustle, right? You're taking pictures and doing other stuff on the computer for your friends. Wow. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. And then what did you do after this? I mean, I'm sure you must have, you know, gotten bored with this, right? After a point in time, and then you wanted to do something else. What was the next thing you did?
Yeah, I think I did very interesting because then I was doing uh, tool with Photoshop. I was doing like I always was an artist forever. I was painting and stuff like that, but I started to do drawings in Photoshop and kind of like a uh, I don't know, more like a branding, but everything was, it had like the tone of a brand, but it was like me, like a doing drawing. And then I was selling them I will make t-shirts and then I would sell them. So people will ask me, it's like, man, I love this drawing. Can you make me a t-shirt? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So I did that like on the side, but at some point I was like doing like thousands of them. So this is when I also like started university, and I remember being in Madrid and then seeing random people with t-shirts that I made all over the place. I was running this I was doing this for fun, but like it turned out to be like a kind of like a way to it started to be very complicated. Like I got in trouble. Like my father was like, okay, just stop doing this shit. Like go back to go back to the degree. You're supposed to study engineering, not to like a t-shirts. Just funny. Like I think that would be like a very successful brand that I had because it was very good. Like I was going to a bar or club, but people were sending me emails with photos. We didn't have like phones, like iPhones and stuff like that. But people were saying like, man, I keep seeing those t-shirts. Can you make me one? I was like, no, man, this is scarcity. The, I don't make them anymore. Otherwise, my father is gonna just
How
not allow.
old were you when you did this?
18,
Wow.
18.
Okay. So it's like you reached product market fit on your t-shirt business because people like the word traveled. There's word of mouth, right? And people wanted you to
Word of mouth,
yeah,
101. And they
yeah.
look, they like them. They were like a memes, right? They like them. They no. This is pre Facebook, obviously.
Mhm.
We have a messenger. People like this stuff, and then there was a ton of scarcity on them. So it was kind of like a flex to have them. So I remember like people were wearing like a nice shoes, expensive shoes, nice pants, and then one of my t-shirts. Like
Oh,
the
very
t-shirts were
cool.
the t-shirts were not like incredibly like the manufacturer was just like going to the corner store and then make like a like a one of those transfers. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was kind of nice. Yeah. So that was like that was like
You started a fashion trend with your designs. Very, very cool. And you're 18. But then
we did it for fun. We did it for fun. Um, yeah.
yeah, and then but your dad said, hey, Far, you have to go to school for engineering. And then so what happened after that?
No, I was already an engineer. I actually have a very cool story with this. So, uh, this is which year? This is already like a 2000, early 2003 or something like that. Yeah. Then I went to the This is in Spain. But I went a summer, one of the summers, I went to the US to learn English. And I met another guy from Spain. he was my age. He already was a very successful business in the tech world, which is very very crazy. And then he said like, oh, I love your t-shirt business. I like what you're doing. This is like I need to support like entrepreneurs. Um, I'm gonna fund it. Like you should, whatever you do, like you just do it. And I was like, man, I'm telling you, like my father's not gonna let me go back to my house, but he's like, I'll give you, I'll fund it. Like just to, but what is interesting with this person is like he later on, was a good friend of mine. Later on, he introduced me to Bitcoin. 10 years after, which is he was on top of very crypto G. Like he was in Bitcoin very 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 well. But yeah, it was through this business friends, I guess. Mhm. Yeah, but I never came back to the t-shirt business, which is like there's something that I'm always like I'm always looking at fashion and things. I'm like, man, I love this. It's so nostalgic for me because I really like this. Like this is something that I never did, or never like culminate into a brand, but it was like it has so much potential.
Yeah, it does. It still has potential. So this is like
Hmm.
when you were 18, and then yeah, unfortunately you didn't get to go down that path. And then what happened after that? Did you have another try at business or entrepreneurship? When was the next time?
No, I was so I did my I was doing engineering, civil engineering. I was like enough, I got into trying to do this degree. I wasn't I like engineering, but I was more like look, I was in my dorm designing t-shirts for all my engineering friends from school. Like I wasn't doing like all what I was supposed to do. Like I was just like learn how to calculate like structures and things like that. But so at some point I was like, okay, I need to wrap this up and then do something more in design and art. So so yeah, I finished my civil engineering degree, and then right away I got a Fulbright to do architecture. So I was focusing on that, and then when I was doing architecture, that was in LA already. I moved to the US. Uh, I was just like being in architecture school. I end up being like a more of an artist. Like I never got into let's say as a architecture as a profession. Um, I was more of a creative, more artist and a sculpture. So, so yeah, I got into right after I finished architecture. I got into an internship, doing stadiums, and the people I was working with, they really liked how I was working as an internship, and then they gave me a job as a straight up senior designer from internship. That was because I think we got like a very, so I was kind of like a directing, like a pitching for new ideas, like a creating, like a leading the creative side of a design firm doing stadiums. So yeah, that was I guess that was like a one next professional thing after being after this the early entrepreneur.
Okay.
Uh,
So at that time,
yeah.
you were doing projects, or were you working with a company to work on these stadiums? What was the
Yeah, basically, I was trying to. So my job was to envision a stadium and sell it. Basically, when you do a stadium especially in the US, you need to convince to many stakeholders, right? The states, brands, uh, right? So you need to come up with an idea and pitch it, right? Like this is the right idea. So I was doing basically it's very creative. It was a very highly creative position. I really liked it because I was in charge of making this overall narrative of the stadium, visualize it, design the whole thing, basically from the exterior, how the big picture, but also then designing the experience in the stadium when you go in, design some of the most interesting experience going on. So I had like because I had this maybe like a unique background on being an artist, but also a civil engineer. So I could do like a very large structures, but also I like to make it these immersive experiences and visualize things. So I was doing this like a very, yeah, this very big scale, but also like a tiny scale. Um, so yeah, so I was working with that for a few years, and I worked for many companies in the sport design industry. It just is it's a very small industry. It's small in terms of like there is a few firms, um, but yeah, I mean I work with most of them as a first as a full-time employee, but then second as a consultant. So I was involved in many stadiums in the US, League, NFL, MLS, but also like a international, like a soccer, World Cups, etc., etc.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now, now you have all this incredible experience, right? Because you have a degree in civil engineering, but you're also talented as an artist. That's a very rare combination in architecture. And I remember you said you went to Harvard, right? Like, was this shortly afterwards, or how did you
So yeah, so what happened? So what happened is I had like a somewhat of a crisis because I was doing really well in as a sport architect. I was part of the team that won, or we made this new stadium, the Atlanta Braves, and
Wow.
that means you get one stadium,
Yeah.
and then that's like you're like, okay, there's gonna be like a few years of work. And but I was already like I wanted to be an artist, like a fine artist. I didn't have time to it, and I also like I have like this thing, like I was working in a very highly creative. I have a highly creative or a job that required to be highly creative. But then afterwards, I I needed to go to my studio and make work. So it didn't work because I was very frustrated, and I was like, you know what? I think I need to quit my job and go, and I need to to become an artist. I really need to spend time in my studio. And I was missing, actually, in fact, so I was missing like art history and all that because I didn't study art. So I was like, I got this stadium, and then I talked to my boss. It's like, look, I wanna I wanna have a break of this. I wanna experiment a little bit. I wasn't in my 30s already yet. I was late 20s, and then my boss, who he is a very well known in the industry in stadium design. He designed like a lot of the stadiums in the US, especially like ballparks. He said like, you are insane. What the fuck are you doing? Like you're basically, this is like you are on top of this is a very good opportunity for you.
Yeah, not many people get to do something like this at such a young age. Yeah, so
Yeah. So he was like just take a break. But I was living in Kansas City, and I was like I'm from Spain. I want to be back in LA maybe, because I had already like a good shows lined up. I had like a very interesting, that's the thing with art. I got the taste of having your studio. So, but yeah, I also wasn't extremely, something that was doing a stadium was very rewarding because you get to do things that a lot of thousands of people experience. And I really like that. I really, 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 really like going talking to people, seeing what I do, or being in a bar watching a game and say like, I know exactly this stadium very well. I've been working with this team, or so I think, and then people will show, there's like a wow, there's amazing conversation, right? Like people get excited about it. So that I miss and I really like, but I didn't like being in a corporation setup. that's I guess like that happens with a lot of creative people. Like they're not good to in this like environment, corporate environment. So I had already
This
like
corporate
some.
environment is not very creative.
So I was very and I was a very passionate. Like I was like a having some um arguments in the company because that saying typical. Because, I was also young. Like I didn't care if I lost my jobs, but in a way, this is what also like people like it. Like people hire up in like my boss or whatever. Like they were like, yeah, keep going. Like just be a punk because this is it's cool stuff. Like I didn't mind staying up all night, like for 2 3 days, until cranking up like a fun designer. I like it, but also I was frustrated with being restricted for so many rules, and it makes sense, right? Like like this wasn't a farming business. You're doing like a $1 billion project, like it needs to be built, like it needs to be standing up, and you need to basically as a creative, you need to left some of the things that you thought they were cool, like you need to be okay with things that you might not like are not gonna be done the way. So I was like, fuck this, I don't want to be that person. I'm getting mega frustrated. I can always come back to this. So I quit. And then I went to be full-time artist. But look, this is what I think this that was like this is like I closed the doors of this. I work in a few stadiums afterwards, but I had my studio. But also I was looking for jobs and looking for ways to make money. And then I called my friend that offered me 10 years before, he offered me money to do my t-shirt company. So I called him and say like, hey, dude, how's it going? I haven't spoke to you like in ages. And you know what I do, like, but I don't have. I'm looking for, I'm an artist, but I'm very interested in tech and cool things. What do you think? If there's something that I should look up, if he's like, you know anything about Bitcoin? I was like, well, like, yeah, about it, but I'm not really. So, and then he explained to me in this phone call, he explained to me uh, how Bitcoin works. And I was like, shit, this is pretty cool. So I just went back to my table and then all the savings I had, I just put and bought Bitcoin. So, and then that's it. That's never look back because that's I was like, this is changing. Like this is how this has the potential to be a revolution. But then I got into Reddit and all of this, and I was like, man, this is so much fun. So yeah, I got into crypto there, and then I was doing art on my side. But then this is when I wasn't being an artist. I went back to my village in Spain. I was like, shit, I want to go back to the US. I need to figure out a way to do it. So I applied for apply for Harvard to do a master's and potentially a PhD, and then I got in. And then, yeah, I was doing this. I was at Harvard, but I was doing things with crypto, doing art. Yeah, basically left back this life of designer, and then I got into this mindset of crypto.
Wow. So
Mm-hmm.
this friend of yours who wanted to invest in your t-shirt company many years ago, you called him back up and this is like how you got into Bitcoin. What year was this?
This is 2014.
2014. And were you going to school at that time?
No, I apply. Yeah, then no, I wasn't in
You're running
school,
your
but then
studio.
I went after the couple of years after. I went back to I went back because I was like I was older actually, and I was like, okay, it would be good to. I got a scholarship, so yeah, to go, and I was like, instead of being like in my art studio here in my village, I'll go. Harvard sounds good.
So,
Like
so you learned about Bitcoin in 2014, and then you got the Bitcoin bug. Then you went to
yeah,
graduate school, right? Is that how did you end
yeah.
up in the Harvard Bitcoin Club? Did I get that
No,
right?
so I was in the, yeah, you got it right. And then I was in the graduate school of design, and all my interaction with crypto was, Reddit, Twitter, some Twitter here and there, but I didn't know anybody that was into crypto besides my friend.
Hmm.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see if anyone is interested here. And then I created in the graduate school of design, they have these student clubs. And then the day that everyone created a club, I printed the Dogecoin the Dogecoin sign, and then I printed a meme that I did with Dogecoin, and then it's like this is the Harvard blockchain club in the graduate school design, and 10 people signed up, and then we were doing weekly meetings in the design school. So it's basically was designers interested in crypto. It was very interesting people actually, and that I don't know, I haven't followed up with a lot of them, but some of the folks were already like working in protocols. They were doing their websites. Very cool, very very cool people actually. I'm not gonna mention who or no who. I don't know if they are talks or not, but there was like a very interesting people that it will be interesting to catch up with. And and then one day I created like a, and then I interacted with other blockchain groups in Harvard, and then this is how I interacted with the HBS club, and then with the law, and the Bergman Center. This is how I met Dennis Porto, that we all know him. He's a very very active member in the community, in the Bitcoin community, also in Taproot Wizards. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Really, really interesting story up to this point. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
you created the Bitcoin, the Harvard Bitcoin Club, and then you
Mm-hmm.
graduated, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
what with an art degree now?
So So I was doing a master's. I graduated a master's, and by the time I finished the master's, I already took like all the courses for a PhD in visual studies, and then they were like professors over there. They were like maybe it's a good idea if you seem very interested into what you're doing, like visual studies, like digital culture. Um, Maybe it's a good idea that you apply for the PhD. Maybe you have chances to get in. It's very hard to get into one of those PhDs. But I applied, and then I got in.
Okay.
So I
Nice.
stay. But it was the bear market of 2018. 19. I was like, yeah, maybe it's a good idea to just do a PhD because it seems like there's nothing going on in crypto. So I started a PhD, and but I never finished it because I got busy again with crypto and doing things, and then with NFTs, and like I started to be very active, being like an artist in the space, and then being more active in the space. So I need to, it's very interesting. I was talking to a friend of mine just right now before this interview about, he was asking me, when are you coming back? So I'll finish my PhD at some point. And but yeah, I didn't graduate it yet. Let's put it this way. I need to do my dissertation.
Well, a lot of times like these top universities, like there's a sort of like a joke going around. Like the reason for getting into a top university nowadays is to quit to drop out after you get in, right? So you could be an entrepreneur.
So so I got into I met another friend of mine. He's a crypto, he's a Solidity developer. Um he's a dropout at Harvard University, and he told me like he got me to I met him in 2020 because I was looking for a developer to help me out to actually do fine, like the company that I have. And then I met him briefly. He was an undergrad at Harvard, and then I met him again this summer. He already he couldn't work for me because he had already a company and then he did an exit, a crypto company. But then he told me like, no, man, I drop out. Like I was doing this. And then I was like, well, I got kicked out of the PSD, like I mean, not kicked out, but kind of like a suspended a little bit. Like I need to come back. It's like, oh, okay. I'll put you in this is a good thing. We got like a dropout Telegram group, Harvard dropout Telegram group. And it's very interesting. I got into the group, but it's like, there's a lot of folks over there. Very interesting people.
I bet there are. All right, so you dropped out of
Yeah.
Harvard, but not before you created you left something good there, which is the Harvard Blockchain Club, right? So you dropped out, and what was the reason for dropping out? Was it
So, but I don't know if actually, the Harvard Club in the design school, I don't think anyone after I left, I don't know if anyone took it again. Like I need to check because the way these clubs work is like you make them and then someone else needs to take the torch, right? But I
right?
think when I left, I don't know if anyone is doing it in the design school, which is now I mean, back then there wasn't many reasons to do a blockchain group into a design school, but now there's a ton of reasons, right? Because with NFTs, right? And then it will be interesting to check back to see if someone is doing it again.
Yeah, yeah. Let's check back and see what happens. So, so going back to you dropping out of Harvard, what was the reason for your dropout? There must have been something that was really interesting to you, right?
No, I mean, no, it wasn't a dropout. It wasn't just I want to call it a way. Just like I'm taking a break.
All right, so all right, fine. So you paused. You put the
I
PhD
paused.
and then what did you pause for?
Yeah, I got well, there's a couple of things. I left. I wasn't living in the US. With pandemic time. I was like, I'm not going back to in campus during COVID. And then I got kids, I got my first kid and I wasn't in the US. I'm like, we already are like going back to Boston. It's going to be kind of like a move. And I already had like so much stuff going on. Like I already doing a lot of, I'm doing creative projects in the blockchain, which is like two of the things that I love. And I'm like, so I really don't have more bandwidth. Doing a PhD is 300% of your time, especially at Harvard. So it's like, I cannot overcommit to something that I cannot. So I say like, look, I'm going to take a break, and then I'll come back and then I'll do it. And that will be at some point because I got like a more busier and busier. So I don't think this is on the plate because I want to be like just really focus on what I'm doing right now.
Okay. All right. No, that's understandable. And then so what year are we at right now? And when did you get into the like what were we doing before the Taproot Wizards?
Yeah, so I was in fact like when Counterparty when was this 2019 or even earlier, I was doing things with the red peppers. I remember like I was doing, funny because I look at there was you could submit like some red peppers and then they for people that not official ones, right? Like you could submit it and then they will publish yours. And then I was fucking around with that. Like I was buying them. Technically those are the first NFTs, right? So I was experimenting with it, but I didn't get like when I saw the punks and a lot of some of these early NFTs and I thought it was pretty cool, but I didn't get deep into it. I was as an artist, I was like very busy. I was having like a museum shows, and but during COVID, everything canceled. And I was very frustrated because we were in lockdown. I had canceled like a big museum show that I had. and then kind of like a lot of the crypto stuff came in, and then NFTs. Fast forward, like a NFTs became uh mainstream in a way. Like there was the people were paying attention to that, and I was like this is very interesting. This is maybe a good time to start to merge like in a more official way, like this my art practice with the blockchain. And because before I was doing like a lot of things here and there as an anonymous, I was doing a lot of memes, and I was doing I was involved with other projects, doing like a visual stuff, but I never was like officially under my name, Francisco or Far. Just like this is the pseudonymous I have. But then, yeah, then I decided to do stuff like more officially, like this is actually 2021. And yeah, this is where we started. I started to do like collections and generative art collections. I did I did my infinities, AI and IRL. Before that, I did MC Escapes, which is an AI collection, very small, 12 pieces. So I was just testing how smart contracts work. Yeah, so I was doing just my personal collections, and I was very testing. And then this is through like 2022, basically. And
Yeah,
this is
okay.
when,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, and then so there's like everyone knows what happened last year, right? There's a bunch of bad news, right? The crypto market going down, and then fast forward to January 20th, right? When Ordinals was announced.
Well,
What,
actually,
yeah.
before that, this is actually now I'm thinking it's been exactly now. I think I need to check, but I think the exact same week of this one, but last year, this is
Mhm.
when I spoke with Udi and Eric for the first time
Wow. This week?
about Taproot Wizards. Yeah, I actually I was going to post it because this is I need to, yeah, I need to tweet this. I have the messages are very cool.
Okay, so this is
Um,
interesting. This is interesting. So
yeah,
we talked to Udi and Eric Wall about Taproot Wizards in last year, August.
exactly
But
1 year ago. It's
okay,
exactly
so
one year.
how did you guys want to or so was Taproot Wizards supposed to be on Ethereum at that time, or you guys also already want to do it on Bitcoin?
So back to Dennis. So Dennis forward me this message from Udi saying like, we are looking, Eric and I were looking for an artist. We want to do something with Bitcoin. And then Dennis, because, Dennis and I were friends and he knows I'm an artist. And then he knows, we have been in crypto for a while. Some might be interested in something like a more to do like a more with the core to the crypto. So I met with Udi and we have a call. Actually, I remember I was like with my daughter. We were in the call with my daughter, which is she's a Bitcoiner, and and then we were. He told me about the idea of making Bitcoin fun again. And I was like, shit, this resonates a lot with me because, when I got into crypto, I got like I thought Bitcoin is amazing, but the culture is kind of like it went a little bit downhill. In 2016, 17, that was like a
Yeah,
horrible. I mean,
you're being very kind by saying a little bit. Yeah, it's basically.
yeah, well, I don't know. It was my, I don't, I'm not, I'm not taking it personal. I just literally, I didn't engage with it at all. I was engaging with the other stuff because I thought like it was ridiculous. So I didn't want, it wasn't rent free in my mind. I just literally, but Udi told me this and I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like, I thought it was like you know, I thought it was like incredible. Imagine like looking back right now, it's like I never thought like somebody was going to do this. trying to make Bitcoin fun again and interesting. So I say like yeah, fuck yeah, like I'm interested into this, and
Okay, so
yeah, I want to be part of whatever we're doing. So then we met, then we did another meeting, and then we met with Eric. It was Eric, Tristan. Tristan was already involved into it already. Like I think a month before me, he was already with Eric and Udi talking about what should we do. We really didn't know what to do, but but they wanted, we already were discussing the meme, because they say like, you remember the meme? I was like, yeah, of course. I mean, the wizard, this is like awesome. So I already have like a collection done, very much like by this date. I started already, so I had like a draft of what it is, Tapper Wizards.
okay, so all right, okay, so this is interesting. So even before ordinals hit, you guys want to do this, but did you guys want to do it on Bitcoin or something else, or another chain? I mean, how were
We
you guys?
didn't know. We were thinking in Lightning. We were thinking in making people do Lightning transactions to prove it. We really have no idea how to execute this, which is funny. But we wanted to. But what we wanted is to people to learn about Lightning and about Bitcoin, because it's very true. I think I really I engaged a lot with Udi and Eric at the very beginning, because a lot of the onboarding into crypto has been through NFT. So basically, you want to get this Bored Ape, or you want to get like a random NFT. The first thing you need to do is to buy Ethereum, right? To do it, because otherwise I mean, you might be able to pay with card, but at the end of the day, you gotta get the Ethereum to do it.
Yeah,
So we were thinking about how to do it. But then I didn't know about ordinals, because I think at that time, like in parallel, Casey was already with Ordinally working on it. But Casey was he was talking to people about it, about this idea. And I think and I think in August or September, they already Ordinally started to work with the Casey on this. So, but I didn't know about it, which is interesting, right?
yeah, no, it's really interesting. So I mean, what you bring in the point about Casey. So when were you guys tipped off on ordinals? Did you guys find out before January 20th, the public announcement, or did you guys already start doing this before that?
I think Udi and Eric, I think they did. Dennis, of course, and then Dennis was writing his article about ordinals, and then so he sent me a message. He sent me a message with Dennis sent me a message with the draft of the article, and then I was like, yeah, I'll check it out at some point, like, and then you know. But then I was walking my dog. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna read. This is like, it's already interesting, so I read it.
What month was this? I'm curious. Let's get some timing
Huh?
in. What month was this?
Yeah, this is February.
Okay,
Let me
February.
see. Yeah, this is February or not? I guess.
That's interesting. You guys had this idea last year, and then you guys were looking for a solution, right? To basically create this collection on Bitcoin or for Bitcoin, right? To make Bitcoin fun or magical again. And then along comes ordinals, and you guys are like, wow, this is the perfect solution, right? And then when did you guys inscribe the collection? What day was that?
Wait, hold on. I need to actually. It's a good thing that you're asking me for the exact dates, because for time passed by, and then you are like everything looks like it's kind of crazy. Everything looks like it just happened, but it's been 1 year of events, and I don't have like it feels like it feels like 2 days, but let me check.
Sure.
Yeah, all right. I can do it later, but I'll try to go into Twitter to check the DMs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I read this and I was like, basically read the ordinal theory. And I was like, wow, this is spectacular. And right away, I was walking my dog. I was reading this on the fly, and then I messaged Udi and Eric. It's like, guys, this is like that's it. And then yeah, we got an emergency. We got a war room. I remember like going. No, I didn't even like I was. Yeah, I got this article. I was reading, walking my dog, sending message, and then by the time I got back to my house the same day, like I was walking, and we got like a war room message with the husband, Tristan, Rindel, everyone. Let's do a 4 MB. Insane, right? Everything in one day. So let's do it. And then I was looking for. So yeah, I got I was like, okay, getting trying to look for the assets that I already did, the Tapper Wizards that I did a year ago, and then put it together, a design for doing the 4 MB. Everything was so fast. We were like doing like going insane here.
And this was in February when you guys inscribed this whole collection.
Right? Like which date is it? Yeah, I guess.
How many Taproot Wizards was in that 4 MB inscription?
What do you mean? No, this is just one. Number
Just
one.
one.
Tapper Wizard 0.
Oh, Taproot 0 was 4 MB. Okay, so all right, that's incredible. So and then you guys reduce the file size after that.
Yeah, I mean that was like so. Yeah, so we did the 4 mega. We tweeted the transaction ID. Some folks started to tweet it, randomly, right?
Yeah, I mean,
And
some
then
people are not happy with it. Can you like recall like when you guys did that, it was very significant, right? Because it made a lot of
nobody knew about it. Nobody knew what the hell was that, and then people did it, and then we say like, well, if you did that, you're gonna get an honorary. And then we started to do the honorary. So the first batch of honoraries for the people that tweeted the transaction ID. So that's when we started to do these honoraries that were one to one. They were JPEGs, right? They were not WebP yet. So they are like they're like a video G. And then we did the collection and then we inscribed the collection. And then after the collection, we're doing the second batch of honoraries to fill up to the 2,121 Tapper Wizards. So we still have a few to go to finish the collection. So we're doing like some honoraries that you should see like very soon, I guess.
Well, that's amazing. So is this the collection, is it partially generated art and then partially you draw it yourself? Like what's like,
yeah.
What can you share with the audience a little bit what like how you guys created these?
So the number one, Tapper Wizard number 0, or the number one, the big wizard, this one has assets from the original wizard that I did in a year ago. Right, it's kind of like this seemingly low effort, trying to imitate the wizard meme. Then you have as we go, yes, wizard number 2 still have that, but it shows like it's a bigger wizard. We're building in public, defining the aesthetics of the Tapper Wizards in public, which is like it has been an evolution without the collection being finished. And then within Nick, with Nick Nick is the first one that started to be like a frame it. The wizard is getting shape, and so then we have the first, let's say, the first. What's the 14 wizard, right? We have Hasu. So the first ones are 1-to-1s, and those ones are already like some of the parts are built for the generation or the collection, and then the generator collection is done until the which number is, I think it's the 2099, and then after 2100 is the smelten the mirrors, and then those are like a until the last one 2106 is lot, the last wizard we have, and then we have there's still room. We still need to make the remaining wizards until we do the final 21 wizard, which is the end of the collection. So it's still in the making.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, like the whole spirit of this entire collection is to make Bitcoin magical again, right? Magical and fun again. So
yeah,
can you speak a little bit about the cultural significance of that and what you guys have been doing to help make Bitcoin magical again? Because it's almost like this in the future when you guys release these, this is a community, right? This is a community on Bitcoin that with the vision of making Bitcoin magical again. So do you guys have like an idea of how that looks like? And can you share that?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the spirit can be seen in the in the wizards when you look at them. I think we have been I would say we're thinking a lot about everything that we're doing. I mean, also we're having a hell a lot of fun. Like I mean, it must be right to do these wizards. Like whoever is doing this must be like not too serious about things. Even though we're very serious, but not serious at the same time. Like me as an artist, I'm trying to actually working with the memes and making something that is like visually is very very native to the space and using like the history of Bitcoin. But also when people see this, they need to be like, okay, this is kind of fun, like this is cool. So we have been, we have been having a lot of fun with the wizards for sure, like releasing them. We did the quest, and we still need to do more quests. That allows the quest will allow people to get a wizard, and we did we're doing some IRL events. The party in New York was epic. Now there's gonna be this Saturday. There's gonna be another event in Stanford with the on-chain monkeys, and yeah. So we're trying to do that. I mean, there is also a lot of the stuff it happens in the Discord, but also in the social media. I think there is, since ordinals came out, there's no question that we have been having fun about the community in general, right? It's gonna be it's been like a big family, the real community, right? Doing all the things. I mean, you're part of this, so you know that. With the wizards, we're trying to keep this at the core, and so yeah, I think without forgetting that we're in the middle of this, crypto still is there's the speculation is one of the biggest driving force in crypto, and then you have these assets, and normal NFT projects, they sell things and then people buy them, they lose value. This, then the other conversations come in. So we didn't sell any wizard. We wanted to keep. We are like, let's keep having fun. I mean, it feels like it's so good right now, like without not being like a disattachment, like a financial attachment. Like there's a lot of pain out there in the NFT projects too. Like it's hard being a founder right now. So we have been doing this gymnastics, how to keep this without having like all these potential risk to have like to not have fun. So yeah, I think like any other founder, like doing an NFT project, like even though we are not, yeah, we are not per se like an NFT project as other NFT projects. I think like we're very different in a way because we haven't sold anything. We just, we have these assets and we have a community, and we're talking about doing things in Bitcoin, but we are not like a. It's not like we are charging anybody to be part of this. Like if you can come to the Discord, people's grabbing their wizards and rocking them. You are not saying anything to anybody. But so yeah, I think
So I mean, eventually
this
you
is it.
guys plan on selling any of the wizards?
Um, well, not today. Like we're trying to literally focused on making uh building the community, looking what we can do for Bitcoin. And yeah, I mean, we're doing the quests like for people to be able to get a wizard, but I don't think this is the right move to think about this, like because you know uh, maybe it's putting more pressure on things. Like I don't know. I mean, we're not even thinking about it. Just to be absolutely frank to you, like
Yeah. I mean,
we
like, the longer you
all
hold on,
conversation, we meet a lot, and then we
they'll
talk
become,
about
right? I mean,
what's up.
I said the longer you hold on to the wizards, the more valuable they become. So there's like and we're sort of like in a slump right now, right? For ordinals. But you
But
know,
we never thought about. I mean, to be honest, like we never thought about this, like about. I mean, the selling earlier, very early on, we were like, okay, so what do we want to do? Let's do something meaningful. We voted for that. So making do something like everyone does in the NFT space, like making a launch and sell. That was out of the equation from very early on. Like, so we sign up for something else. So that's why it's not consuming our time. Uh, and we always joke about it. Like we're gonna launch like maybe in 10 years. So yeah, it's not even, it's not in our agenda. So there's a lot of things to do, to be honest. Like, um, if we're really trying to do something meaningful for Bitcoin, and I don't think this, it can be done without just selling the stuff, right?
sure,
Like,
sure. So I mean, let's just say like you don't sell these. So what's the community doing right now to make Bitcoin magical again? Can you share like sort of what the plan is and how people can get involved?
we no, there's gonna be some. We're gonna publicly share some stuff soon. And uh, but no, we don't have. We don't. Yeah,
Okay, we just unfortunately Far got rugged here. So let's pause this for a second. Hi, Far.
Hello.
Welcome back. We got about
Yeah.
50 minutes here left, so we're here on uh what how do people get involved with the Taproot Wizards, and then after this, I'd like to sort of uh you know get into find the
Yeah. I
the
think the best way is to um the best way is to join the Discord. You will find the Discord into our social capital wizards on X, Twitter, and there's links over there. So you can get or in your website, in the website capitalwizard.com, you can get, and then you get into the Discord, and then over there it's gonna be easy to get
okay.
involved into it.
Super. Yeah, let's all make Bitcoin magical again. Excellent. So, all right, with that said, thanks for sharing all that with the audience. And yeah, it was pretty really interesting marketing move, right? How you guys minted the 4 megs or megabyte block. That made
Mhm.
that made some waves. Great job on that. You set I believe, yeah, I guess set a record there, right? Great
Yeah.
job. And really happy to see the community is also growing. Now we also I think we met back early this year, right? When you were going through the A16Z crypto school, right? And that was
Hmm.
what was that? Like they had almost 10,000 applicants, and then what, like 30 teams were accepted or something like that. What's the numbers again?
Yeah, I think maybe like 9,000 applicants, and then maybe less than 30 teams. Yeah, that was like it's very testing because we, I was already doing the type of research, but I had this thing like we apply with my partner, and around December or November the year before. And then I got into it. It's very funny. Like ordinals is exploding, and then I was like, okay, I gotta go to LA and to do the what I'm working on. Fine. Um, yeah. So the idea of Fine is that we wanted to do tools for creators, finding better ways to set up like an economy around creators, designers, and artists. Um, so we were working already with tools for co-creation, embedding the economy into the assets, and so I wasn't. I wasn't bringing Bitcoin into it. But now, because ordinals came in, and I'm very active into ordinals. I'm using we are using a percentage of fine is focusing on R&D within ordinals. I would say like a 30%, while 70% is still working. We are not like a focus on any chain, but the applications in EVM are more still like they are better for making things for consumer products. So we're working in EVM, but we're doing like a very good chunk for resources to do things with the reinscriptions and recursive inscriptions, and making things with the ordinals, with the protocol. So yeah, it was very interesting because um I had to change pivoting, like how to embed all of this stuff into ordinals. Let's put it this way, like everything that we were trying to refine, we think about like how we can do this with ordinals, right? And so yeah, we spend like sometimes what we wanted to do, we spend always like sometimes like thinking about like how it will work with ordinals.
Wonderful. This is going to be very exciting. And what's the unlock that Fine will create for digital designers and creators in the space? What's the vision here?
Uh-huh. So Actually, when we met, we were talking about this was back in February. We met. We spoke about it. I'm always, we were developing. We launched actually the War Games, which is War Games is uh, a tool for co-creation. So as a generative artist, launch a project and then allow the user to finish it up or create outputs. So there is there's this notion that we're very interested into leaving creators the ability to create frameworks or projects that the consumer or the collector can finish it up and then can work with. So you're creating these tools for generating visual assets that we're very interested in, and then trying to build economy around it, like a sharing profits in the sale. So we have been working a lot on that, and then just now or let's say in the past 2 months, we have been doing a lot of experimentation with the physical assets and manufacturing. So actually today I was visiting a digital fabrication shop where they're using the robotics to sculpt stone. So because that's a little bit of my background of in engineering, right? Like I was doing a lot of digital fabrication, basically working with the digital assets and how to bring it to life. So I think Fine's gonna go towards that direction. It's another layer about what exists right now that we are used to, which is like the creation of generative art, but more into trying to build an economy around it and creating these tools for creators. So we got this A16Z provide us with some funds to basically develop a very early stage. We didn't do any seed round or anything like that yet, so we have enough. We have been building tools, and yeah, it's been great. I think Fine has been assisting. For instance, like something that we did, it was part of Fine was to migrate infinites. This is part of the ordinals, like R&D the section we're doing. We migrate my collection, the infinite collection, into ordinals, and that was a very, very interesting thing. And then now we're doing another project that it has to do with 3D assets and interoperability and getting them on chain. So that's a project that we will plan to launch in Q4, and that's part of Fine, dealing with ordinals.
Well, that's right on corner. That's just like a couple months from now. So thank you so much for sharing your story. We're running up on time here, but what are some, there's a lot of creative people, a lot of innovators, a lot of founders, a lot of builders who are coming to Bitcoin, or they're deciding whether or not to come into Bitcoin, right? Because as you pointed out, Ethereum is still mainstream, and Bitcoin is really just in the baby stages right now to develop this Web3 ecosystem. What's your advice if someone's deciding to get into the Web3 world or making a move into Bitcoin? Like what would you say to them? Like about the timing or?
Well, this is very interesting that you say that. So I have been just recently an artist that is like in the art world, like not in the NFTs, but also is very interested into blockchain and block memes, and it's a very serious artist. He's been involved with Bitcoin rather than Ethereum, because he's just very interested in how to leverage on chain to make the work. So yeah, I think the moment I think when there is a lack of education, in a way that Bitcoin ordinals are very interesting for that. We are now in a very interesting phase where there is nothing established, let's say, but it's all for for experimenting, and everyone is very accessible. The ordinal developers, the protocol developers are there. You're an artist and you want to do cool things and you want to talk to them. You just can reach out to them. So I think it's a very nice moment to be involved into ordinal, because I don't know. I mean, it's inevitable that this will take off and it will become very big in the future. And everyone, just by nature, everyone's gonna get very busy, and it's gonna be more difficult to be to be in touch with people. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting moment to be involved into it. At the end of the day, also as an artist, not everything that you do you need to sell, or that's 101 artist an art practice. So there's not like a real market anywhere right now, like Ethereum maybe, but not really. So I think it's a good moment to experiment. I mean, and Bitcoin's offering is a fantastic canvas for it. You're going to be able to do things fully on chain, which is something that on Ethereum there is two type of NFTs, right? It feels like it. When people talk about, all right, we're making art, and then there's things that are on chain, and then people talk highly about them, and it seems like a pretty inaccessible, because to make things on chain on Ethereum it's very expensive and it has a lot of limitations. But look, you can do that on Bitcoin, and it's not as expensive, and it's very relatively easy to do it. So I think it's a good moment for creative. Now fees are very low. I think they were sitting at 6 sats. So, as opposed to 700 sats when we had like a few months ago. So yeah, so I think it's all, there was like the best moment was to get involved with in February. And now it's the second best moment to get involved with ordinals.
Yeah, it's no doubt a very great time to get in right now before the next Bitcoin halving. And while the market is still sort of like in the bear market state, this is actually the best time to start building and to basically build a foundation in preparation for the next.
Well, I'm not even that. I think there is a lot of people like doing cool things, and it's good to have all of these technologies are built on top of like creators come in and they test these technologies, they push the technologies before sending them for consumer products. Art is the best thing, in creators, because it's very experimental. So I think it's good to be involved, because you can get in touch with a lot of folks that they're doing like this infrastructure right now. So it's good to be part of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just forget about bull markets and bear markets. Like like at the end of the day, someone's life or creative practice doesn't need to be restricted by these cycles, financial cycles. So
yeah, absolutely. So Farah, how do people reach out to you? Because we're right here up on time. Before we check out, how do people reach out to you?
Twitter is always the best place. 0xfar. I try to if I don't get crazy lot of messages, I try to everything. So that's the best place.
Wonderful. And thanks for coming on the show. Everyone, again, this is a Bitcoin Startup Lab. We're a top pre-accelerator on Bitcoin. If you have an idea and you want to turn it into investment or the startup, come find us. We also have the Bitcoin Olympics coming up right now with over $100,000 in prizes. So if you create something in the ordinal space or using any kind of Bitcoin technology, you're eligible for many prizes here. It's the biggest Bitcoin agnostic prize right now in Bitcoin at $50,000. In addition to other prizes. So if you guys were inspired by FAR as a creator or as a founder or as a designer, come join us. We have to work together to build the new Bitcoin economy, and in the spirit of Taproot Wizards, to make Bitcoin magical again. So thanks again, FAR, for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure, and hopefully I see you soon. I don't know which conference or moment, but it would be great to get together again.